Yeah. Okay. So welcome students again. We are dealing with the second unit from our subject systems in mechanical engineering, and we are that means dealing with this the topic, the introduction to the thermal engineering. Okay. So previously we are that means the we are discussed about the types of the system, that is open, closed, and isolated system. Okay. So that is the first topic. Then we have studied the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay. Then the statement for the first law of thermodynamics, so that is important. The here it is two statements are important for cycle and for the process. Okay, so that you have to remember. So for cycle it is summation w is equal to summation q, and if it is a single process only, then it is q is equal to delta u plus w. Okay, so that is the first law of thermodynamics. Afterwards we have seen the source and the sink. Source means what? The it is a high temperature reservoir which supplies the heat, and sink means what? It is a low temperature reservoir which absorbs the heat. Okay. After that, we have defined the heat engine. Okay. So heat engine, it develops the work. The main function of the heat engine is to perform the work by absorbing the heat. Okay. By absorbing the heat. Okay. And at the same time, it also rejects the heat to the second reservoir. Okay. And what the second law of thermodynamics statement says, it is impossible for any device. Okay, it is impossible for heat engine to develop the work if it is connected with only one reservoir. Okay, so that is impossible. So this system is impossible. This red box only, this is impossible. That means heat engine taking the heat from one source, high temperature source, and it is performing the work. This is impossible. So what is then possible? This system is possible. Total system is possible. That means heat engine will develop the work only when it will absorb the heat from the heat source, and it will reject the heat to the heat sink, low temperature reservoir. So when the heat engine is connected between the two reservoirs, then only the work is performed. Okay. Then based on that, we have defined the efficiency of heat engine. What is the efficiency of heat engine? The main function of the heat engine is to perform the work. So W is the output, and W is the work is done when we supply the heat Q1. So W upon Q1. We know that W is equal to what? It is Q1 minus Q2. Q1 is same. Replace Q1 by T1, Q2 by T2. So T1 minus T2 divided by T1. So this is the formula for your thermal efficiency. Okay. After that, we have defined the, we have solved some numerical. So refer the Google Classroom, that means the video lectures on the Google Classroom. If you are not, that means if you are absent for this lecture. So we have performed the, we have solved this numerical. After that, we have discussed about the refrigerator and heat pump. So one statement of the second law of thermodynamics is based on heat engine, that is called as the Kelvin and Planck statement. Now the second statement, that is the Clausius statement, it is based on refrigerators and heat pump. We know that the main function of the refrigerator is to what? To remove the heat from the low temperature sink. Okay. So and it rejects some heat, Q1 amount of heat to the heat source. But while doing this, now what refrigerator is doing? It is supplying the heat from low temperature to high temperature. Generally, what happens? We get the heat transfer occurs from high temperature to low temperature. But whenever you have to supply the heat from low temperature to the high temperature reservoir, then we have to supply the work to the particular system. So here see the direction of arrow is toward the refrigerator, and in heat engine it is outward because it is performing the work. And here we have to supply the work to the refrigerator. Okay. Here the direction of arrows Q1 and Q2, it is upward in refrigerator, while in heat engine it is downward. So you just remember, in heat engine only the direction of arrow is downward, while in refrigerator and heat pump the direction of arrow is upward. That you have to remember. Okay. Now then after that we have defined the COP for refrigerator. We have to define what? COP, not the efficiency. Okay. So COP means what? It is coefficient of performance. Now, what is the desired output from the refrigerator? We want him to take as much as amount of heat from the sink. Okay, so Q2 is the desired output. We required refrigerator must absorb maximum amount of Q2. So Q2 is the desired output from the refrigerator, and for doing this, we have to supply the work to the refrigerator. So Q2 divided by W. Then Q2 remains same. W is always Q1 minus Q2. Q2 is replaced with temperature T2, while Q1 minus Q2 is replaced with T1 minus T2. So this is the formula for your refrigerator. Okay, always remember, for refrigerator, Q2 is the desired output. So Q2 is important for the refrigerator. After that, we have defined the heat pump. For heat pump, we required what? We required the heat supply to the source. Okay, we have to supply the heat to the source. So for heat pump, see the diagram is same. Arrows are upward. We are performing the work on the heat pump. For heat pump, Q1 is important. Okay, for refrigerator, Q2 is important. Now here also we are defining the COP of heat pump. So for heat pump, Q1 is important. Q1 is the desired output. So Q1 and divided by what? W. So Q1 remains same. W is always Q1 minus Q2. Q1 is replaced with temperature T1 and Q1 minus Q2 is replaced with T1 minus T2. Okay. So this is the heat pump. So based on this refrigerator and heat pump, we have defined the second statement, that is called as the Clausius statement. So what this Clausius statement said? It is impossible for any device that operates on a cycle to transfer the heat from lower temperature to higher temperature. It is impossible for any device to transfer the heat from lower temperature to higher temperature. Okay, but this is possible when you are supplying work to that system. Okay, this is possible only when you are supplying work to that system. Okay, so see, for refrigerator also we have to supply the work. For heat engine also we have to supply the work. But for the heat engine we don't have to supply the work. Okay, because it heat engine what? This is the temperature T1. Okay, this is our heat engine. Okay, this is our sink temperature T2, and direction of arrow in heat engine is what? It is downward. This is Q2 and it is performing the work W. Okay, so here it is performing the work. Here we have to supply the work. Okay, so that you have to remember. So just one simple logic you remember: in heat engine, take arrow downward, work output, work is developing by the heat engine. In refrigerator and heat pump, the direction of arrows are upward, work is performed on the system. So arrows goes from right to left. So you have to show the arrow toward the refrigerator. In heat engine, it is away from the heat engine. Okay. So then afterward, we have seen one relation. So COP of heat pump is equal to COP of refrigerator plus 1. So we have put the two formulas, and from that two formulas we have derived this equation. So just refer the previous video lecture. We have discussed about this one. In last lecture, we have solved the numericals on the refrigerator. Okay, so refrigerator, these the COP and other things are given. So also these two problems we have solved. Now in today's lecture, we will solve the numericals on the heat pump. Now what is this? So a heat pump. So whenever it says the heat pump, okay, whenever it says the heat pump, we have to draw the diagram for the heat pump. So we have the source, we have the sink, then we have Q1, Q2, and now heat pump is there. So heat pump means arrows goes upward. Okay, arrows go upward, and we have to perform the work on the heat pump. Now we have drawn the diagram. Now is used to maintain the house at 240 degrees Celsius. Okay, it is used for the that means it is used to maintain the house at 240 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this value is given in the problem. Okay, now what is this? It is used to maintain the house at 240 degrees Celsius. So what is this temperature? Which temperature is given in the problem? Heat pump is used to maintain the house at 240 degrees Celsius. What is the use of this heat pump? To heat the room. See, this is you remember this one. See, the function of the heat pump is to heat the room. The function of the refrigerator is to cool the room. So this is cold room. This is cold room. Okay, and the function of the heat pump is what? To heat the room. So which temperature is given in the problem? So heat pump is used to maintain the house at 240 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this temperature is given. Okay, so 1 minute, let me check this whether this temperature is 240 degrees Celsius or less than, it is 24 degrees Celsius. So I think this is 24 only. Okay, 1 minute only, just let me check this temperature. Okay, so we'll go with this one only. So 240 degrees Celsius means which temperature is given in the problem there? A heat pump is used to maintain the house at 240 degrees Celsius. That means the use of the heat pump is what? To supply the heat to the room. So which temperature is given in the problem? So this 240 degrees Celsius means what? It is T1 temperature is given in the problem. Okay, so this is suppose 240 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this temperature is given in the problem. Okay, So okay, so this temperature is given. This temperature is given in the problem. Okay, so that is 20. That is 20. Actually, it is not 24. I think. Okay. It is not 240 degree because 240 degrees Celsius is very high temperature. Okay, 1 minute. One. It is not 240. Huh? 1 minute. Let me check this temperature again. So I have doubt on the temperature. It is not 240 degrees Celsius. It is. It must be 24 only. The heat pump is used to temperature. This one. Yes, it is 20. Sorry, it is 24 degrees Celsius. This is not. This is not 240 degrees Celsius. This is 24. This is 24 degrees Celsius. Okay. So what is given in the problem? So heat pump is used to maintain the house at 24 degrees Celsius. So for always remember, for heat pump, this temperature is important because we have to heat the room. And for the refrigerator, we are this temperature is important because this is for the cold room. Because the refrigerator removes the heat from this sink, so temperature get decreases and heat pump supplies the heat to the source, that means this room. So this is Q1 is important for the heat pump. Okay, so what is given is used to maintain the house at 24 degrees Celsius. So this is 24 degrees Celsius is which temperature? It is T1 temperature. Now the house is losing the heat at the rate of 1800 kilojoule per minute to the surrounding. So what is this? What is this value? 1800 kilojoule per minute. The house is losing the heat. The house is losing the heat at the rate of 1800 kilojoule per minute to the surrounding. Now this is the house. Okay, we are heating this house, and this is rejecting the heat. Okay, this is the rejecting the heat at the rate of what? 1800 kilojoule per minute. Now that means which heat is entering into the house? Q1 amount of heat is entering the house, and the same amount of heat will get rejected to the surrounding. That means this 1800 means what? It is Q1 value is given in the problem. So Q1 is equal to, this is 1800 kilojoule per minute. Okay, so this value is given in the problem. Now this is in kilojoule per minute. We have to convert this into kilojoule per second. So this is 1800. Now 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So this becomes kilojoule per second. So you have to convert that kilojoule per minute into kilojoule per second. Okay, so this value is given. See, each and every sentence of the problem is very important. Okay, heat pump is used to maintain the house at 24 degrees Celsius. So 24 degrees Celsius means what? It is T1 temperature, because heat pump काय करतो? Heat supply करतो रूमला. कुठल्या रूमला सप्लाय करेल? या रूमला. तर त्याचं टेम्परेचर किती झालं? 24 degrees Celsius. Now that house is losing the heat at a rate of 1800 kilojoule per minute. Now which heat is entering into the room? Q1 amount of heat is entering into the room because of the heat pump. So what is that amount of heat? That is equal to Q1 is equal to 1800 kilojoule per minute. Now we required kilojoule per second. So 1800 divided by 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Now heat pump is driven by the electric motor of power rating 12 kilowatt. Heat for supplying the heat Q1, we required some power. That means work done. So what is that work done is given? It is driven by the electric motor. So W value is given in the problem. So W is equal to what? It is 12 kilowatt. Okay, so this value is given as 12 kilowatt. Okay, so we are given with temperature T1, we are given with Q1 value, and we are given with the W value. Now what is the formula for heat pump? What is the desired output of the heat pump? Heat pump ni काय करायला पाहिजे? It must supply Q1 amount of heat to the room. So for heat pump, Q1 is important. For refrigerator, Q2 is important. And for heat engine, what is important? W is important. So for heat pump, Q1 is important. So Q1 divided by W. Okay, so Q1 divided by W. So output upon input. So Q1 is the output because it is going out, and W is the what? Input. So W is Q1. So Q1 means what? Q1 is Q1. Here it is. W is what? W is always Q1 minus Q2. Replace Q1 by T1. Replace Q1 minus Q2 by T1 minus T2. Now see what is asked in the problem? The amount of heat absorbed from the surrounding. Absorb means what? The heat which is going inside the heat pump. So Q2, we have to find out the value of Q2 here. the amount of heat absorbed from the surrounding. Absorb means what? The amount of heat which is coming inside the heat pump. So that is Q2. And we have to find out what? COP of heat pump. So we have to find out the COP of heat pump. Okay. Now how to find out the Q2 value? Okay. How to find out this Q2 value? So for finding this Q2 value, use W formula. So W is equal to how much? W is equal to Q1 minus Q2. Okay. So Q1 is given in the problem. We have to find out the value of Q2. W is given in the problem. So from this you can find out the value of Q2. So you will get the value of Q2 in kilowatt. If you put this in these two values here, so you will get the value of Q2 here. Okay. So that is very simple. W is equal to Q1 minus Q2. Q1 is given in the problem. W is given. We can find out the value of Q2. Now how to find out the value of COP? COP. So Q1 we required Q1, we required W. Yes, both are given in the problem. Q1 is given in the problem, W is given in the problem. Put Q1 value here, 1860 divided by 60 here, and W value 12 kilowatt. You will get the value of COP here. Okay. So both the things you can calculate here. It is very easy to solve this problem. Okay. So two things we have to calculate. We have to calculate the value of Q2. That is comes from this formula. And another is we have to find out the value of COP. So that comes from Q1 divided by W. Okay. The most important thing is here is what? First, you have to understand what is given in the problem. That is very important. Afterwards, you can calculate the other things. So here, what is given? We are given with the temperature 24 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature of house. So that means that temperature is what? T1. Okay, that temperature is T1. So 24 degree Celsius. It is the temperature T1. The another one is house is losing the heat at the rate of 1800 kilojoule to the surrounding. Heat is going outside. Okay, heat is going outside. So that heat is what? Q1 heat. So Q1 is given in the problem. So this is Q1, this is T1, and this is what? W. Okay, this is W is given in the problem. Okay. So though temperature is given, we are not use this formula because T2 is not given in the problem. So use only this much formula. Okay, you can solve the problem and this formula. Okay, so you will get the answer for this problem. Okay. Now next problem. Again, the heat pump is used for the winter air conditioning. Now heat pump, so you have to draw the diagram for the heat pump. So what is the diagram? So we have source, we are saying now heat pump here. We know that for refrigerator and heat pump, the arrows goes upward. This is Q1, this is Q2, this is W. W. Now we have to the arrows go. The work is the power is, that means work or power is supplied to the heat pump. Okay. So for heat pump and refrigerator, the arrow goes inside. Okay, we have to supply the work to the refrigerator and heat pump. Okay, so this is the diagram for the heat pump. Now what is given in the problem now? To heat a room draws from the surrounding. Okay, now it is what? Now a heat pump used for winter air conditioning to heat a room. So we have to heat this room. This is our room. We have to heat this room. To heat a room draws heat from the surrounding at the rate of 60 kilowatt. Okay, so it draws the heat from the surrounding at the rate of 60 kilowatt. Now what is this value? 60 kilowatt. It draws the heat. Draws means what? It absorbs the heat from the surrounding. So which heat get absorbed? Q2 amount of heat get absorbed by the heat pump. So we have given which value? We have given Q2 value in this problem. So this is what? This is equal to 60 kilowatt. Okay, so that thing you have to understand in the problem. So heat we are heating this room, but how we are heating this room? So we are heating this room by absorbing the heat from the surrounding. So Q2 amount of heat get absorbed by the heat pump. So Q2 is equal to 60 watt. Now next is the heat pump is driven with the help of the motor, which is supplies the 8 kilowatt of power. Now the power supplied to the heat pump is what? It is W. So this is 8 kilowatt is given here. Okay, so this is 8 kilowatt. Okay, now what we have to find out now? We have to find out the value of COP of the heat pump. So what is the COP of the heat pump? For COP of heat pump, Q1 is important. Q1 divided by W. Okay, so Q1 divided by W. So Q1 remains same. W is Q1 minus Q2. This Q1 is replaced with temperature T1. Q1 minus Q2 replaced with T1 minus T2. We have to find out COP of HV. So we required Q1. So Q1 is not given in the problem. Okay, this is unknown. W is given in the problem. Okay, W is given in the problem. That means we have to find out what? We have to find out the value of Q1. So how to find out the value of Q1? Use W formula. For finding out Q1 and Q2, use the W formula. So here W is given. So this is 8. We don't know the value of Q1. but we know the value of Q2 here. This is 60. Okay. So you will get the value of Q1 from here. So Q1 is equal to, you will get here, this is 8 now plus here it is 60. So you will get here what? This is, it is equal to 60 kilowatt, 68 kilowatt. Okay. So this is the value of Q1. Now put the value of Q1 is here. So Q1 is equal to, this is 68 kilowatt and divided by W. W is what? It is 8. Okay. You calculate this value. So you will get the COP of the heat pump. Okay. So this is very simple here, calculation of the COP. But you have to understand what is given in the problem. So we have given here what? Heat, room draws the heat from the surrounding at the rate of 60 kilowatt. So which value is given? For heating this room, the heat pump is absorbing some heat. So that value is what? That value is the Q2 value. So Q2 is given in the problem, that is equal to 60 kilowatt. Then power supplied to the heat pump is 8 kilowatt. Power supply means what? That is in the form of work. So that is 8 kilowatt. Okay. Now we have to find out the COP of heat pump. The formula for COP of heat pump is what? Q1. Q1 divided by W. For refrigerator, here it is Q2. Okay. So for heat pump, it is Q1 divided by W. W is given in the problem. Q1 is unknown. So to find out the Q1, we have to use the formula for W. Q1 minus Q2. W is given in the problem. Q2 is given in the problem. We have calculated the value of Q1. We have put that value here and we have calculated the value of COP. Okay. So like this, you have to solve the problem on the numerical on the heat pump. Okay. So these are the two problems I have choose for these things. Okay. Now this is the summary of your heat engine, refrigerator, and heat pump. This topic is very important. 100% you will get the question, numerical questions on this topic. So see for all the three, heat engine, refrigerator, and heat pump, diagram is same. We have source here, we have source here, we have sink here, we have sink here. Then in this we have heat engine, refrigerator, and heat pump. Q1 is same. Here it is Q1 is same. Here it is Q1 is same. Q2 is there. Q2 is there. Here it is also Q2 is there. Now W is also there. W is equal to Q1 minus Q2. This W is also Q1 minus Q2. This W is also Q1 minus Q2. Now only the difference is that in heat engine, the direction of Q1 and Q2 is downward. Work output, so away from the, that means it is going outside. Work is performed by the system. So only in heat engine, you remember you have to take arrow downward. For W, you have to take it outward. For heat engine, for refrigerator and heat pump, the direction of arrow is upward. For Q1 and Q2, the direction of arrow is upward. Okay, and work is performed on the system. Okay, the direction of W is toward the system. So W is toward the system. So only this much you have to remember. Okay, and then for heat engine, we define the efficiency. Efficiency means it is W upon Q1. For heat engine, efficiency is defined W upon Q1. For refrigerator, COP is defined. For refrigerator, Q2 is important, Q2 divided by W. Q2 divided by W. And for heat pump, Q1 is important, so Q1 divided by W. So this is Q1 divided by W. Okay. So for heat engine, efficiency is defined. For refrigerator and heat pump, COP is defined. That is coefficient of performance. So that you have to remember. Okay. So these are the examples on your heat engine, heat pump, and refrigerator. So I hope you will understand this one. Just remember the main points from this one. For heat engine, the direction of arrows is downward. Work is performed by the system. Okay, work is done by the system. So here arrow is here outward. And for refrigerator and heat pump, we have to supply the work to the system, refrigerator and heat pump. So direction of arrow is here, inward. And the direction of Q1 and Q2 is upward for both refrigerator and heat pump. Okay, so this is the system. For refrigerator, Q2 is important, Q2 divided by W. For heat pump, Q1 is important, Q1 divided by W. For heat engine, W is important, W divided by Q1. Okay, so that you have to remember. Now, so today, now we will start with the new topic that is called the modes of the heat transfer. Now, what is this? You know now this one, what is meant by the heat transfer? Now, what is this heat transfer? So, heat transfer is it is the discipline of thermal engineering. Okay, so that concerned with the generation, use, conversion, and exchange of thermal energy between the systems. Okay, so that means there is the movement. There is a movement of the heat across the border of the system due to temperature difference between the system and the surrounding. Okay, so we know that whenever there is a difference between the temperature, So okay, T1 and T2. If T1 temperature is lower and T2 temperature is higher, suppose this T2 temperature is 100 degrees Celsius and T1 temperature is equal to 10 degrees Celsius. So there is a temperature difference, okay, between this T1 and T2, between system and surrounding. So heat will get transferred, and the heat always get transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature. We have seen this one. The heat is always get transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature. Okay, so this is the transfer of the heat, and we'll get there. This we call this as a heat transfer. So heat transfer is denoted with what? Q. Heat transfer is denoted with the Q. Okay. Now we have how there are now three types of the mechanism through which the heat get transferred. You know this one. One is called as the convection, another the conduction and radiation. Okay. So the modes of heat transfers are conduction, convection, and radiation. Okay. Now we'll see one by one what is meant by the conduction, what is meant by convection, and what is meant by the radiation. Now, what is meant by conduction? Conduction heat transfer is the transfer of heat by means of the molecular excitement within a material without bulk motion of the matter. Without bulk motion of the matter. This is very important. How the heat get transferred? There is the molecular excitement, okay, within the material. Okay, so heat get transferred from molecule to molecule. Okay, so there are, because we know that the solid, liquid, and gases, this is consist of the molecules. So heat get transferred from one molecule to another molecule, and because of what? Molecular excitement. So you see here, see, we have taken this is as the heat source. Okay, and these are our molecules. Now see, these are now vibrating. So we are calling this as a molecular excitement. Okay, but they are not moving from their place. Okay, so see, the molecule one is at place one only. Molecular arrangement of two, that is on the same place. They are not moving, but they are just vibrating on their place. Okay, and they are transferring the heat. So see, this molecule is transferring heat, then to third molecule, fourth, fifth, like this. See, one by one they are transferring. This is just similar to the we play this game, that is telephonic game. Okay, we that means we put this sentence to we tell the sentence to the another person, then this person tells the sentence to the another person, then another person, and then finally to the last person. Okay, so likewise we'll communicate. So this final, so this person is here, and this is our first person. So this is our first molecule, and this is our last molecule. So heat get transferred from the first molecule, so from here to the last molecule. So this blue means what? It is cold condition, and red means what? It is hot condition. So that means the rod. Suppose this is our rod here. So rod get heated. So like this. So this is because of what? This is because of the molecular excitement within the material and without bulk motion of the matter. This is very important. They are not moving from their place, but they remain at their place, and they are transferring the heat from one molecule to the another molecule. Okay, so and conduction occurs in the gases, liquids, and solids. Okay, it occurs in all, that means solids, liquids, and gases. Okay, but in solid the conduction is more, okay, as compared to the liquids and the gases. Because what is the reason? In solids the molecules are closely packed, or they form the close bond. That's why the transfer of the heat from one molecule to another molecule, it is very easy in the solids as compared to the liquids, because here the molecules are scattered. In liquids and gases the molecules are scattered. That's why the heat of conduction in solid is more as compared to the liquid and the gas. Okay, so this is the simple definition of your conduction. So conduction means what? The conduction means the transfer of heat. Because of what? Because of the molecular excitement. So this is called as the molecular excitement. See, the molecules are exciting, so these are called as the molecular excitement. But without bulk motion of the matter, they are not moving. They are remain same at their place. Okay. Now this conduction is governed by one law, that is called as the Fourier's law. Okay. So the MCQ question in your example in your examination is what? The conduction is governed by means of which law? So you have to choose here the Fourier law. Okay, so Fourier law is the conduction is governed by means of the Fourier law of conduction. Now, what is this Fourier law? So it says the rate of heat conduction per unit area. So heat conduction means what? Q divided by what? Area per unit area is directly proportional to the temperature gradient. Temperature gradient means what? Here temperature is T1, here temperature is T2, and we have some distance here x. So what is the temperature gradient? So delta T by delta x. So this is called as temperature gradient. Okay, and heat conduction per unit area means what? Q divided by area. Which area? So area normal to the surface. Okay, so that direction of the flow. Okay, so Q divided by is directly proportional to delta T by delta X. So Q is equal to how much? So to remove this proportionality sign, we'll get one constant here, K multiplied by A delta T by delta X. Now Q is equal to K A. Now this is delta T means what? Higher temperature minus lower temperature. Okay, higher temperature minus lower temperature. That means T1 minus T2 divided by X. What is this X? X is the thickness of the thickness of this material. Okay, so this is the thickness of the material X. Okay, so X is here. So now here, what is the end now? So this is our final formula. Q is equal to Ka T1 minus T2 divided by X. Now what is this Q? This is rate of heat transfer. The unit of Q is equal to is watt. Okay, the unit of the Q is equal to watt is watt. Now K is called as the thermal conductivity of the material. Okay, this is called as thermal conductivity of the material. It is the unit of this one is watt per meter degree Celsius. Okay, or watt per meter Kelvin. Okay, now A is what? Area of the heat transfer in meter square. That is normal to the direction of the heat flow. Okay, that means if this is the heat flow Q and if this is our circle, okay, or this is pipe, so this is the area. If this is the pipe, so then this is the area. The area perpendicular to the direction of the heat transfer. So this is the area perpendicular to the direction. So this area we have to consider here for the heat transfer. Now T1 is what? Higher temperature. It may be in Kelvin or it may be in degree Celsius. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, difference will remain same. Okay, T1 in degree Celsius or Kelvin. T2 is lower temperature, that is in Kelvin or degree Celsius. Okay, so this is the formula for your Fourier law of heat conduction. So it says what? Q is equal to Ka T1 minus T2 divided by X. So you have to remember this formula. Okay. Now let us again see this one, the same formula. Q is equal to Ka T1 minus T2 divided by X. Now if you divide this X by this Ka, if you divide this X by Ka, then that is called as the thermal resistance. So in MCQ question, they generally ask this one. What is the formula for thermal resistance? So thermal resistance is what? This is the thickness of the material X divided by the thermal conductivity and divided by the area. So X divided by Ka is called as the thermal resistance. And this Q divided by A. So this Q divided by A, it is called as, it is denoted with small q. This is called as heat flux. This is called as the heat flux. And what is the unit of Q? It is W. What is the unit of A? Area meter square. So the unit of this heat flux is watt per meter square. Okay, this is watt per meter square. Okay, so these two things you have to remember for MCQ question. This is very important. One is what is called as the heat flux. So heat flux is the heat transfer divided by the area, Q divided by A, watt per meter square. The thickness divided by thermal conductivity multiplied by area, so that is called as the thermal resistance. What is this? What is the unit of this thermal resistance? Its unit is Kelvin divided by Kelvin divided by watt. This is Kelvin divided by watt. Okay, so the unit of thermal resistance is Kelvin divided by watt. Okay, so what you have to remember? So you have to remember the formulas that is given in the problem. Okay, now let us quickly solve this one or two problem and then we will stop here. Okay, so let me take here the space and we'll solve the problem here. Okay, so just 1 minute. Okay. Okay, now let us. The problems are very simple. You can easily you can easily solve the problems. Okay. So which problems you are taking? Problem number 2 here, and we'll take here problem number 3. Okay, so where is the first problem? This problem. Okay, now see, just quickly we'll take this one. So what is this problem now? So you calculate the heat transfer per unit area through the copper plate, 0.045 meter thick. Okay, so we have copper plate like this. This is the copper plate, this is X. Okay, calculate the heat transfer. Now what we have to calculate here? Heat transfer means what? Q per unit area, so divided by what? Area. So this we have to calculate in the problem. Calculate the heat transfer per unit area. So Q by A we have to calculate through a copper plate. So copper plate is here, this one. Its thickness is what? Thickness means what? It is the X value, 0.045 meter thick. So this is the thickness value. X is equal to 0.045 meter. Now whose one phase is maintained at 350 degrees Celsius. So higher temperature is T1. So this is 350 degrees Celsius here, and outer phase is maintained at 50 degrees Celsius. So T2 is equal to 50 degrees Celsius. Always take, in every problem, always take higher temperature T1 and lower temperature T2. Okay. So whenever two temperatures are given in the problem, so always take higher temperature T1 and lower temperature T2. Okay. So you have to calculate the thermal conductivity of the problem is copper is given. So for this K value is given. So K value is equal to, here it is 370 watt per meter degree Celsius. So you have to remember the unit of this one also, because in MCQ question they ask this unit also. The unit of thermal conductivity is watt per meter degree Celsius or watt per meter Kelvin. Okay. Now how to calculate this value of Q by A? Now since thermal conductivity is given in the problem, that means it is a problem of conduction. You have to also identify the type of problem also. So here thermal conductivity, because we know that in which formula the thermal conductivity come? Q is equal to K A. Okay, what is the formula? T1 minus T2 divided by X. This is the formula for the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Now in this formula K is coming, that means this is the problem of thermal conduction. Now we have to calculate Q by A. So you take this A downward, Q by A. So what is remaining here? K. We are remaining with T1 minus T2 divided by X. Now K is given in the problem 370. So K is given 370. Now what is the temperatures? It is 350. Now 350 minus 50. Okay. And below what we have? We have X. X value is 0.045. So calculate this value. So you will get Q by A. That becomes your answer. And what is the unit? After that, you have to write down the unit. So for W, it is watt, and for area, it is meter square. So answer will come in watt per meter square. Okay. Here we have taken, we have taken the temperatures in degrees Celsius. Okay. We are taking here difference. If you convert this into Kelvin, you will get the same difference. That means 350 minus 50. So this is equal to 300. If you add here 273, and if you convert it into Kelvin, still you will get the difference is equal to 300. Okay, याच्यामध्ये 273 ऍड केलं, याच्यामध्ये 273 ऍड केलं, केल्विन मध्ये कन्वर्ट केलं तरी पण डिफरन्स किती येतो आपला? 300 येतो. ओके, सो यू पुट दॅट टेम्परेचर इन केल्विन और डिग्री सेल्सियस व्हेनेवर देयर इज अ डिफरन्स. जेव्हा आपण डिफरन्स काढतो टेम्परेचरचा तेव्हा हे केल्विन किंवा डिग्री सेल्सियस मध्ये ठेवलं तरी चालेल. सिंगल टेम्परेचर जर घ्यायचं असेल, इफ यू आर टेकिंग सिंगल टेम्परेचर फॉर द कॅल्क्युलेशन, सो ऑलवेज कन्वर्ट दॅट टेम्परेचर इंटू केल्विन. ऑलवेज कन्वर्ट दॅट टेम्परेचर इंटू केल्विन. डिफरन्स जर असेल तर केल्विन मध्ये घेतलं तरी चालतं, डिग्री सेल्सियस मध्ये घेतलं तरी चालतं. ओके, हे लक्षात ठेवा. सो दिस इज युअर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. नाउ द सेकंड प्रॉब्लेम. व्हाट इज द सेकंड प्रॉब्लेम? नाउ अ वॉल ऑफ ओवन इज 40 centimeter thick. Now again we have this wall. Now this wall is what? It is 40 centimeter thick. This is very important. That is what? X value. 40 centimeter. Now in SI unit we required meter. So we have to divide this by 100. Okay. So this becomes what? 0.4 meter. Okay. This is very important. Don't keep the values in centimeter. We have to convert that into meter. Okay. So 100 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. So 40 divided by 100. So that becomes 0.4 meter. So a wall of oven 40 centimeter thick having thermal conductivity is given in the problem. So that means it is a problem of conduction. So K is equal to 0.7 watt per meter Kelvin. So here see the Kelvin is given. Okay. So you convert the temperatures into Kelvin or put it in the degree Celsius. So thermal conductivity K is given. Interior surface of the oven is maintained at 800 degrees Celsius. So higher temperature is 800 degrees Celsius and lower temperature is equal to 200 degrees Celsius. Okay. So temperature is decreasing from 800 degrees Celsius to 200 degrees Celsius. Now surface area is given in the problem. So surface area means A is equal to 2 meters square it is given. Okay. This is given. Now since this is the problem of the conduction कशावरून ठरवलं आपण थर्मल कंडक्टिव्हिटी दिली आहे प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये. सो फॉर्म्युला लिहायचा थर्मल कंडक्टिव्हिटीचा. व्हॉट इज द फॉर्म्युला? Q इज इक्वल टू K A T1 मायनस T2 डिवायडेड बाय X. ओके. आता विचारला काय प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये थर्मल रेजिस्टन्स विचारलेला आहे. व्हॉट इज थर्मल रेजिस्टन्स? What is the formula for thermal resistance? X divided by Ka. This is the formula for thermal resistance. X divided by Ka. That is the formula for thermal resistance. X दिलाय का प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये? Yes, it is given 0.4 मीटर. K दिलेला आहे का प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये? Yes, it is given 0.7. A दिलेला आहे का प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये? Yes, it is given 2 meter. So calculate this value. Okay. So you will get what? Thermal resistance. Okay. So this you will get the that means the and what is the value? So its value must comes out to be हे answer यायला पाहिजे किती 0.287 Kelvin per watt. So divide X by K and A value, you will get the answer 0.287. Now second we have to calculate the heat flow rate. Heat flow rate means we have to calculate the value of Q. So K is given in the problem, A is given in the problem, T1 is equal to 800. T2 is equal to 200, X is given in the problem. X is what? 0.4 meter. So calculate the value, you will get the value 2100 watt. You will get the value here. If you put everything here, you will get here 2100 watt. And this becomes what? This becomes 2.10 kilowatt. याला जर 1000 ने जर divide केला आपण, so you will get the answer in kilowatt. Okay. So put everything here, you will get the value of Q. Now what is heat flux? What is heat flux? Heat flux means काय होतं? The heat transfer divided by area. So this is called as what? This is called as the heat flux. So तो कसा काढायचा? Q divided by A. So this is Q divided by A is equal to what? K T1 minus T2 divided by X. Q divided by A काढायचा आहे. K दिलेल्या प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये T1 is known, T2 is known, X is known in the problem. Calculate this value, you will get the answer as 1050 watt per meter square. Okay. So like this, you have to solve this problem that is given in the here. Okay. So that is very important. The first thing we have to identify the type of problem. तुम्हाला identify करता आला पाहिजे. ते कशावरून identify करायचं? Problem मध्ये thermal conductivity दिलेली आहे. So that means this is a problem of your what? Fourier's law of heat conduction. Formula लिहायचा. What is the formula for the conduction? Ka T1 minus T2 divided by X. आता विचारलं काय प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये? थर्मल रेजिस्टन्स विचारलेला आहे. थर्मल रेजिस्टन्स म्हणजे काय असतो? X divided by Ka. This is your thermal resistance. Okay. X is given, K is given, A is given. You can calculate this value. What is heat flow rate विचारलाय? हे विचारलाय Q. Heat flow rate means what? Q. K is given, A is given, T1, T2 दिलेला आहे, X दिलेला आहे. You can calculate the answer. Answer comes in watt. Here this answer comes in Kelvin per watt. थर्ड हीट फ्लक्स विचारला आहे. हीट फ्लक्स म्हणजे काय असतो? Q डिवायडेड बाय A. सो यू टेक दिस A here downward. So the formula becomes K T1 minus T2 divided by X. So K is given, put K, T1, T2 value, X value, you will get the answer in watt per meter square. So this must be the answer in your question. Okay. So this is again the simple problem. Now the last problem, third. Okay, last problem, and we'll stop here. A wall of thickness 8.25 centimeter. X. What is X given? 8.25. But this is in centimeter. So divide this by 100. Divide this by 100. So this comes out to be 0.0825 meter. If you divide 8.25 by 100, so you will get here 0.0825 meter. Okay, always convert centimeter into meter. Okay, So thermal conductivity, okay, that means this is the problem of our conduction. So 0.044 watt per meter Kelvin. So that means you have to use the formula for Fourier's law of heat conduction. K is given in the problem. Now two temperatures are given. Which temperature? 175 degrees Celsius and 75 degrees Celsius. Always take higher temperature as T1. So this is 175 degrees Celsius and T2 is equal to 75 degrees Celsius. Okay, and this temperature is decreasing here. Okay, so T1 minus T2. Now energy dissipated by the electric coil within the oven, energy dissipated by the electric coil within the oven, that is which value? W. So that is watt is given. Watt means what? That is the value of Q is given in the problem. So that is equal to 40.5 watt. So W value is given in the problem. Okay, so we are given with the W value here. So this thing is given in the problem. So we will consider this value Q. Okay, so what is given in the problem? So wall thickness 8.25 centimeter. So that means X is equal to 8.25 centimeter. You have to convert that into meter. Okay, so for converting centimeter into meter, we have to divide it by 100. Okay, so that comes out to be 0.0825 meter. Now the next thing is what? We have given the thermal conductivity in problem. So thermal conductivity means what? It is K value 0.044 watt per meter Kelvin. After that, we have given two temperature, inner surface of the wall and the exit temperature of the wall. I told you always take higher temperature as T1. So T1 is equal to 175. T2 is equal to lower temperature. So it is 75 degrees Celsius. And in the problem, one another thing is given, energy dissipated by the electric coil. Energy dissipated means what? That is the heat transfer. That is Q is given in the problem, and Q is calculated as Q is given as 40.5 watt. So Q is given. Now what do we have to calculate here? We have to calculate the area of the wall surface. So A is unknown. We have to calculate what? A. And we have to calculate here area. So how we will calculate the area? Here use formula Q is equal to K A then T1 minus T2 divided by X. Okay. Now in this problem, Q is given. So Q is 40.5 watt. K is given. K is this value. A is unknown. A is not known. T1 is given. T2 is given. X is given in the problem. So calculate the value of A. That value comes out to be in meter square. Okay. So this is the formula. This type of problem you have to solve. So I hope you understand this type of problem. Okay. And those that means if you have any problem, you refer the video lecture. I will put in on our Google Classroom. So solve this type of problems. Okay. So we have solved the today. We have solved the we have taken the Fourier law of heat conduction. Okay. And we have solved the numericals on that one. So we have solved these three problems. Okay. So in tomorrow's lecture, we'll take the convection, then radiation. Okay. So remaining two types of the heat transfer, and we'll solve the numericals on that one. Okay. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll stop here.